Hi, this is Darius Ty from LearnByBlogging.com. I finished this book called The Killing Patton by Bill O'Reilly and Martin Dugard. This is an excellent book if you are really into World War II story or even interesting characters about George Patton himself. This is a really fascinating story of World War II era, centering around George Patton, who is a four-star general leading the Third Army in driving Adolf Hitler to his demise, and it's as much about the key characters in World War II as about George Patton's life. From this book, I learned about several interesting tidbits. All the key players in World War II. Franklin Roosevelt is a man of great passion for the country who literally worked himself to death and always trying to hide his handicap. And his personal life, like most political figures in the early era, well, even nowadays, is a little bit shady. And nobody know about that part of it, and people kind of worship him because he's the longest serving president in the United States. And Dwight Eisenhower is a military man with a political savvy that frequently ran into conflict with George Patton in this effort to appease the British by favoring UK's Montgomery, the General Montgomery at the times, to make UK really look good. Because UK is the center stage of the World War II in the European front. And also there's a mention about his affair was interesting. And the fact that he is not really, did not really do any kind of military, he's more of a politician. That's kind of also an interesting twist. Winston Churchill is, he tried very hard to position UK power post World War II by trying to work out deal with Russia's Stalin, who didn't honor any of the agreement that they made, and he was voted out of office at the end of World War II, which was kind of ironic, but eventually he came back to power later. Very resilient, and the fact that Churchill was more American than British because his mother was from New York, and that's an interesting tidbit, trivial. Joseph Stalin is very, from what I can tell, is a very vicious dictator, and he was really treating how he treated his people and his German enemies. He was conniving, very calculating leader. No wonder that Patton was very skeptical of the Russians and very fearful of Russians more than the Germans, and which turned out to be true. And at the end, my impression of George Patton, according to the book, he appears to be very good judge of character like Stalin and Hitler and Dwight Eisenhower. And by himself, he seems to be a loose cannon, made lots of enemies, got himself into controversy by talking from his guts, not like a military man. Especially the last controversy, he talked something nice about the German and openly distrust against the Russians. At that time, wasn't one of the allies, so almost got himself fired as a result. And he has some poor personal judgment on his affair with his young Lucy Mercer Ruthford, and also sending the commando to rescue his son-in-law in order to keep his promise with his daughter. And the result is very poorly executed plan that cost more than 30 lives. And then his cause of death appeared to be very controversial. I mean, that whole thing started the book started with this accident. Looked very non-accidental, and looked like somebody was out to get him, and some kind of hit on him. And none of the document at that time, accident document, investigation report, everything disappeared. So there's definitely some kind of cover-up going on. And that's what happened when you had a lot of enemies. And I guess from all the description in the book, I think the OSS, which is the pre-CIA era time, the Office of Strategic Services head, I think William Donovan is probably the one who did him in, based on all the data that was collected in the book. And but Patton is a very brave man and served the country well, despite his strange death shrouded his latter day in life. Was an accident? Was assassination? The author presented all the facts and kind of tilted toward the latter, or more of an assassination. So this is a great book. Not only the Patton character was interesting, and the surrounding characters, the war details, the strategy on the war in the book was equally intriguing. The last few days of Hitler, interesting. And I highly recommend this book, even if you're not a history buff. And I think it reads like a novel and very educational. So there you have it. This is the review on this book, Killing Patton. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.